What if the reason your life feels stuck isn't because of bad luck, but misalignment? Imagine this. It's April, a new month, a clean slate. But the same patterns keep repeating, same doubts, same delays, same results. Here's the twist. Some numbers are more than numbers. In Buddhist philosophy, they're energetic keys, carriers of intention, messengers of momentum. And this April, a set of powerful numbers is rising. Numbers that don't just predict fortune, they shape it. This isn't about superstition, it's about energy. And energy flows where awareness goes. So ask yourself, are you moving through life randomly? Or are you tuned in to the subtle signals that guide the aligned, the abundant, the awake? Before we unlock these 3 transformative numbers for April, let's set the tone. Like this video if you're ready for growth. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a dose of clarity and ancient wisdom. And here's your first act of intention. Comment below. I welcome growth and harmony into my life. Yes, really. Just typing those words is an act of intention, because the moment you declare your readiness for balance, the universe starts listening. So stay tuned. The numbers are calling. And this time, they're calling for you. Part 1. The spiritual pulse of numbers, and why it matters. In the teachings of Buddhism, numbers aren't just tools for counting. They're reflections of the invisible forces that shape our lives. They hold energy. They vibrate. And when you become aware of these vibrations, something magical happens. Your life starts to fall into rhythm. Have you ever noticed the same number appearing again and again? On your clock, on a receipt, on a street sign? It's not just coincidence. It's resonance. A quiet nudge from the universe saying, pay attention. In Buddhist thought, this isn't superstition. It's awareness. Numbers mirror your karmic energy, the subtle law of cause and effect that governs your reality. They don't control your fate, but they reflect it. They echo your thoughts, your focus, your state of being. When we consciously align with certain numbers, those tied to clarity, balance, prosperity, we're not hoping for luck. We're harmonizing. We're syncing our actions with intention. That's not passive. It's participation. Think of it like tuning an instrument. The music of your life becomes more beautiful when each string, your mind, your choices, your energy, is in tune with your deeper values. That's the spiritual pulse of numbers. And when you start listening to them, not just seeing them, you begin to live with rhythm rather than chaos, with meaning, not just motion. April is here. A new frequency is calling. The question is, will you tune in? Part 2. Number 3. Growth through creative courage. The number 3 isn't just a digit. It's a declaration. A quiet, powerful whisper from the universe that says, you were born to create. In Buddhist teachings, the number 3 holds profound symbolism. It's the embodiment of the triple gem: Buddha, the awakened one; Dharma, the path of truth; and Sangha, the community that supports your spiritual journey. This sacred triad forms the spiritual backbone of Buddhism. You can think of it as the 3 legs of a stool. Remove one, and balance is lost. But beyond religion or dogma, the number 3 is everywhere in our lives. Body, mind, spirit, past, present, future, birth, life, death. It's a symbol of wholeness, of integration, of the creative life force moving through everything. And here's the truth most people avoid. Creativity isn't optional. It's essential. We often think creativity belongs to artists, musicians, writers, people who live in studios or wear scarves indoors. But creativity is not a profession. It's a way of being. It's how we solve problems, build relationships, design our days. Creativity is simply the courage to express something authentic, to bring the unseen into form. Let me share a story. A few years ago, I met someone named Lisa. She was in her mid-30s, working a well-paying but soul-numbing job in corporate finance. Her days were filled with meetings, spreadsheets, and endless performance reviews. On the outside, she looked successful. Inside, she felt invisible. When she spoke, it was always with caution, like she was editing herself before the words left her lips. I once asked her, "What's something you used to love as a child?" She paused. Then she said, almost whispering, "I used to write poems, but that was a long time ago." It wasn't until she went on a silent retreat that she reconnected with that part of herself. During the mornings, she'd wake up early, sit by a window, and write just 3 lines of poetry. No pressure, no audience, just expression, just for her. That simple act, the daily commitment to 3 lines, unlocked something. Over time, her poems turned into essays. The essays turned into blog posts. Those blog posts caught the attention of a publisher. And today, Lisa has written 2 best-selling books on healing through writing. She leads retreats. She's found her voice and helps others find theirs. That's the power of the number 3. Not because it's magical, but because it represents a framework for courage and connection. When you commit to expressing your truth, even just a little, it ripples out. The question is, where are you holding back right now? What is the part of you that longs to be seen but stays buried under fear, doubt, or the old belief that you're not that creative? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Everyone is creative, but not everyone is brave. The energy of 3 doesn't demand perfection. It invites progress. It invites playfulness. It's the part of you that's willing to try something new, even if you're bad at it. It's the side of you that's tired of blending in, of shrinking to fit, of living someone else's version of your life. And this April, that energy is strong. Now, don't mistake this for a motivational slogan. Buddhist wisdom doesn't ask us to hustle or force outcomes. It asks us to return to ourselves, to be fully present with what is, and then act from inner alignment. Creativity in this sense is sacred. It's not about becoming famous or making money. It's about making meaning. Think about it. Writing down your thoughts when your mind feels heavy? That's creative healing. Cooking a meal from your heart, even if it's simple? That's nourishment through creativity. Speaking honestly in a relationship, even if your voice shakes? That's emotional artistry. Every act of expression is an act of expansion. The number 3 reminds us that life is a canvas, and each day gives us a brush. You don't need to know the full picture. Just start with 1 stroke, 1 idea, 1 step forward. This month, I invite you to find your 3. Maybe it's 3 minutes of journaling, 3 lines of poetry, 3 photos a day, 3 conversations that matter, 3 ways to reconnect with your inner child. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. In Buddhist mindfulness, there's a saying, when walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. Above all, don't wobble. The energy of 3 is the antidote to wobbling. It calls you to stand on 3 strong legs: what you think, what you feel, and what you do. When those 3 align, life doesn't just happen to you. You begin to shape it from within. So here's your reflection. What creative part of you is asking to be seen this April? What would happen if you gave it just 3 minutes of your day? The universe doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to show up. Part 3. Number 5. The call of change. If number 3 calls us to create, then number 5 dares us to evolve. It's the number of movement, curiosity, disruption, and most of all, freedom. It doesn't ask for permission. It kicks the door open and says, "Let's see what happens." In Buddhist philosophy, 5 represents the 5 great elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. These aren't just symbolic. They are energetic reflections of our inner world. Together, they form the foundation of life and transformation. When one element dominates, say, too much rigidity, earth, or too much chaos, fire, life gets out of balance. But when they're in flow, we thrive, we grow, we live fully. And that's what number 5 invites us into, a season of aligned change. Marta's story. When change finds you at 68. Marta, a 68-year-old woman from Florence, Italy, had spent over 4 decades as a schoolteacher. Her life was comfortable, familiar, but quietly stagnant. On her 65th birthday, she said to a friend, "I feel like I'm slowly fading." Then one day she saw a local flyer, watercolor for beginners, no experience needed. She almost ignored it. "I'm not artistic," she told herself. But something in her shifted. She signed up. Her first few classes were messy. Her colors didn't blend. Her brush strokes were shaky. But she kept showing up. 3 months in, she noticed something surprising. She was smiling more. She felt lighter, freer. Painting didn't just teach her technique. It reconnected her to joy. Today, Marta sells her work in artisan markets. But more importantly, she says, "Every time I paint, I remember I still get to begin again." That's the gift of number 5, renewal through risk. What does this mean for you? This April, number 5 is a gentle but firm invitation to shake off the dust, to question your routine, to welcome growth, even if it feels uncertain. That might mean saying yes to a class you've always been curious about, traveling solo to somewhere new, shifting careers, even when it's scary, ending a pattern that's been slowly draining your soul. Change doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes it's as small as choosing curiosity over fear. Buddhism teaches us the truth of impermanence, that nothing is fixed. Everything changes. The more we resist, the more we suffer. But when we embrace it, we begin to flow with life, rather than against it, aligning with the 5 elements. Use this month to reflect. Earth, are your routines grounding or trapping you? Water, are you letting your emotions flow, or are you bottling them up? Fire, what sparks passion in your life, and where has it gone out? Air, are your thoughts light and open or heavy and stuck? Space, have you created room for something new to enter? Balance isn't about controlling every detail. It's about staying aware, flexible, and alive. Your small step. Here's a challenge. Pick one thing you've never done, and just try it this month. You don't have to master it. You just have to meet it. Because number 5 reminds us that transformation doesn't come from certainty. It comes from motion, from leaning in, from letting go of who you were, to become who you truly are. So I'll leave you with Marta's quiet wisdom. Change isn't just for the young, it's for the living. And you're still here, still breathing, still becoming. What will you choose to explore next? Part 4, number 10, completion and renewal. The number 10 carries with it a quiet power. It marks the full circle, the completion of a journey, and the doorway to a new one. In Buddhist philosophy, this number is more than symbolic. It speaks to the end of a karmic cycle and the emergence of fresh beginnings. But here's what many people misunderstand. Endings aren't failures. They're invitations. The number 10 isn't a wall, it's a gate. It asks us, what in your life has run its course? What needs to be released, not in bitterness, but in gratitude? Sometimes we hold on because we fear the emptiness that follows a goodbye. But Buddhism reminds us, clinging leads to suffering. Letting go, when done consciously, is an act of liberation. A few years ago, I had a friendship that meant everything to me. We had known each other since our early 20s, built dreams together, gone through heartbreaks and breakthroughs side by side. But as life evolved, so did we. Our values began to shift. Conversations turned into debates. Time together felt more like obligation than joy. Yet, I kept holding on. For the memories, for the loyalty, for fear of hurting or being hurt. Eventually, I had to face it. This connection no longer nourished either of us. Letting go felt like grief. There were no dramatic fights, no cruel words, just the slow fading of a bond that had once been everything. It wasn't easy. For weeks, I questioned myself. Did I give up too soon? Did I betray something sacred? But in that silence, something beautiful emerged. Months later, I met a young content creator who reminded me of my old friend, but with a different energy. We began working together. I found myself mentoring again, this time from a place of wisdom and mutual growth. What was once a space of heaviness became fertile ground for something new to bloom. That's the lesson of 10. Sometimes what ends is actually what saves you. What in your life is asking to close? This number encourages you to reflect. Is there a relationship you've outgrown, but keep holding on to from guilt or habit? Are you still chasing a goal that no longer lights you up, just because you've invested too much time? Is there a version of yourself that you're clinging to, even though a deeper part of you is ready to evolve? Completion doesn't always mean walking away. Sometimes it means redefining, recalibrating, or simply surrendering the need to control. In Buddhism, this mirrors the law of impermanence, anicca, the recognition that nothing is fixed and that the only constant is change. Resisting this truth causes suffering. Embracing it, however, opens the door to peace, a ritual for closure. If you feel the number 10 calling to you this April, try this simple practice. Write a thank you and goodbye letter to something you're ready to release. A habit, a relationship, a role. Acknowledge what it gave you, honor it, then bless it as it leaves your life. Burn the letter safely, tear it up, or bury it in the earth, symbolically completing the cycle. You'd be surprised how powerful this can be. What we release with intention returns to us as clarity. The new beginning. What follows the number 10? A new one, a new cycle, a new path, a fresh breath of energy. But here's the key. You can't start fresh if your hands are still full of what no longer serves. Completion is not the absence of feeling. It's the maturity to recognize when something has fulfilled its purpose and to release it with grace instead of resentment. So ask yourself, what story have I outgrown? What space do I need to clear to let new energy in? Where am I being called to finish so that I can finally begin? Because number 10 doesn't want you to just end something. It wants you to end it well, so that what comes next can enter clean, strong, and fully aligned with the version of you that's ready to rise. April is the perfect time to complete a cycle with love and walk boldly into a new one. Part 5. Practical rituals to anchor these energies. Now that you understand why these numbers matter, 3 for creativity, 5 for change, and 10 for completion, it's time to bring their energy down to earth. Spiritual insight is powerful, but without practice, it fades like a dream after waking. So let's make this real. Let's bring these numbers into April in simple, grounded, and intentional ways. Here are 3 rituals you can begin today. 1. The daily anchor. Write the numbers 3, 5, and 10 on a small piece of paper. Nothing fancy. A post-it note or a scrap from your notebook will do. Place it somewhere you'll see every day: your wallet, pocket, altar, or desk. Each time you see it, pause. Breathe. Speak one of these affirmations. I am creating something meaningful. I welcome change with courage. I release what no longer serves with grace. This small pause builds awareness, and awareness is the doorway to transformation. 2. Numerical journaling. From now until the end of April, take 5 to 10 minutes a day to reflect with this simple journal format. 3 things you're grateful for. Fuel your creativity with joy. 5 small risks or new ideas. Stretch your comfort zone, even just a little. 10 habits, beliefs, or patterns you're ready to release. Create emotional and mental space for what's next. You can do this once a week or daily. The key is consistency, not perfection. This practice turns numbers into daily touchstones for clarity and growth. 3. The Abundance Check Ritual. Inspired by both Buddhist intentionality and law of attraction tools, this ritual bridges the spiritual with the material. Take a blank piece of paper or an old check. Write your name on the Pay to the Order of line. Date it April 30th, 2025. Write an amount or a goal you hope to manifest. In the memo, include one of your lucky numbers, 3, 5, or 10. Sign it, the universe. Place it somewhere visible, on your mirror, fridge, or under your pillow. This is not superstition. It's alignment. You're not asking for a miracle. You're declaring your readiness. Each of these practices is a reminder. You're not waiting for luck. You're creating it, one intentional moment at a time. Ready to make April your turning point? So here we are. You've explored the energy of 3, creation, 5, change, and 10, completion. But remember this, it's not the numbers that change your life, it's what you choose to do with them. Luck isn't random, it's alignment. It's showing up with clarity, intention, and courage. These numbers are not magic, they're mirrors. They reflect your readiness to evolve, release, and begin again. So don't just watch this and move on. Write, speak, act, move. Take one small step today that says, I'm ready. Because you're not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. If this video lit something up in you, like subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next step in this journey. And one last time, drop a comment below. I create my own luck and am ready to prosper. Let the universe hear you. Until next time, may your path be guided by purpose, harmony, and just the right numbers.